Hello MTV and welcome to my crib.
This is where the magic happens.
Hello everyone, I am Trey.
And I am Addie, and this is our Sprinter van where we live full time, so let's go take a look.
Alright, first things first, Tone Tanya is a 2015 Mercedes Sprinter. She has 70,000 miles on her and we bought her about 2 years ago. The reason why we call her Tone Tanya is because the first month or so that we bought her, I ran her sweet little forehead into our parking garage and we had to get the entire front part of the van redone. And so now, this is a fresh coat of paint, which is a little bit different than the rear. So it's two tones, hence the name Tone Tanya. We did upgrade the wheels and tires to the BF Goodrich tire and Black Rhino rim, which is a 10-ply tire. So if you're off-roading or just on any path where it's real bumpy, it's rocky, those tires will hold up, especially when your Sprinter weighs a whole lot. Moving on, we have StarLink in-motion internet, which allows us to work remotely, but also allows us to have a security system where we can monitor the van when we are away from it whenever we need to. The first hole that we cut in our van was the C.R. Lawrence T-vented window. This was quite a pain, but it turned out to look really nice, we think. Moving on to the rear, we have a bunk window on this side. Back here in the rear, we have two windows that allow more natural light in there. We can also see while we're traveling down the road, which was a must for us. We also have a Owl Van tire carrier back here. We dropped the spare tire from the bottom for our gray water, and we put our rear spare tire back here. And this will match the other rims and tires that we have on the van. We have the rock slide mount, which allows us to mount our Rotopacks 2-gallon water and 2-gallon diesel tanks back here, just in case we run out. It's nice to have. On this side of the van, we have another bunk window. Also down here, we have our shore power inlet. You can plug in. We have not used that yet, but we do have that option. We also went for the aluminum ladder to give us roof access, and on the ladder we mounted some recovery tracks. They're a little knockoff brand, but they have held up nicely so far. You'll notice on top of the ladder we have another blink camera. That is our second camera for the exterior that we can see on this side of the van, along with the doorbell on that side. On the roof we have 400 watts of solar energy. We have 2 vent fans. We also have a hotspot antenna, and we have 2 lights on the rear. On top we have a 50-inch light bar by Pathfinder. It has worked tremendously well when we're in the backcountry, so highly recommend some sort of exterior light modification for your van. And now let's take a look at the inside.
Alright, so like Trey touched on earlier, we do have the Blink security system to have a camera for the inside view to take a look to see if any activity is happening in the van when we are away from the van. So that makes us feel safe and comforted. We also have a dash cam that gets both out and in view. Happy to have that. Trey also installed a backup camera, which was a little difficult running the wires, but we are super grateful we have it, especially how big Tanya is. We're able to see behind us when we are backing up. All right, we also have these 2 iPhone mounts. They work really well for navigation. If the passenger wants to play a video, they're super easy to use. They are pretty durable and we enjoy having them. Also, in the overhead liner shelf, we have, overhead liner shelf? Overhead shelf.
Overhead shelf.
So underneath the overhead shelf, we have 2 puck lights that are on a dimmable switch. Makes for reading during a dark night, makes it go well. So happy to have those lights. And the tapestry was one I had for years, and we were able to cut it and use, we wanted to use something a little personal. Use some fabric we already had, so we were able to cut it and make it fit. Also above the mirrors, this is where we store our hats. So Trey has his over here. I have mine. Any type of beanie or hat we've been storing up here. We didn't intend for that, but it actually worked out well. And then most importantly, one of our most used and favorite features is our swivel seats. This just creates a super open space in the van versus it being closed off. We're able to sit here. We can also sit and use this for work. We eat our dinners here. We can flip that up to have meals. The swivel seats have been tremendous. And on the back of the seat here, we're able to store some gadgets and knickknacks, multi-tool, a little knife, first aid kit, lighter, zip ties, some other little knickknacks. All right, so underneath the seat here, we have our diesel S-bar heater. Super grateful for this. We spent our winter in below freezing temperatures and it kept us nice and toasty. Also above the overhead liner shelf, I have some more clothes bag storage. This is our front dash window cover. We keep our speaker up here. We have our little StarLink monitor thingy that goes over there. Some grocery bags that we keep just for easy access over here. Love the overhead storage. So before van life, we lived in Nashville. I was a full-time coach. I coached both CrossFit and strength conditioning coaching, dabbled in some soccer coaching as well. So that was our apartment life in Nashville, was just living and working in Nashville.
So I was a part-time CrossFit coach. I was also working full-time for TikTok during this entire build-out. My hours were like 10 to 7. What I would do, I guess I'm gonna admit this, I'd get done with work early and then I would pretty much spend the rest of my day working inside this van and putting all my time and effort into researching videos on YouTube and spending time in here.
And welcome to our office slash dinette workstation area. This is where I spend a lot of time for work. This lagoon table has come in handy. We're able to turn it different ways. If you're just solo and need to have a meal or do some work, you can do that. It can kind of shift out a little bit more. Super happy with this lagoon table mount. Also, this monitor we're able to use for work. It can also flip around for that chair. We can have movie night. Yeah, so it's just our version of our little home theater with the seats turned around with a movie. All right, underneath here we have another puck light with a dimmable light, little knick-knack basket for all of my miscellaneous things that Trey is always telling me to put into a home. They usually go here. We have our Max Air Fan controller, fruits basket where we have fruits and any kind of little stuff that needs to go in a fruit basket. We have our Wi-Fi hotspot booster gadget, gizmo hotspot here. So behind me we have a little inlaid bookshelf for little books, notebooks, notepads, things of the sort. I like the flush look. It's kind of hidden, tucked away. I really like that little nook. Also, our cushions were made by a family friend. Super grateful for that. Love the color. Trey and I, our favorite color is green, so it ended up working out well. Also, underneath here, Trey was a genius and put holes here. That's just for ventilation to alleviate any chances of mold or mildew or anything like that. That happens.
You hit your head?
600 times a day. And then in this overhead cabinet, we have these little baggies. Love these clothes bags. We're able to just put a bunch of clothes in here and store them away and they stay nice and neat. I have some over here as well, like those little bags. Underneath here we have a lot of kitchen equipment, some extra soups and spices, little storage containers for food, extra cups and silverware, as well as some pots and pans. So we did decide to do our own build out. It came with a ton of emotions, both joy, tears, happy times, sad times. It was difficult, but at the end of the day, we're proud that we did this. Trey did 99.9% of it, but it makes it, we have so many memories. It makes it so special that we remember each parts of the build that were difficult or fun or funny. So we have a ton of memories of the 2 years of building it out. So it was hard, but we're glad that we chose to do it ourselves.
So at one point we were looking at a van that was similar to this van. It was already built out and it was being sold by a friend of ours. We just couldn't work out the way that we wanted the budget to go. It's very hard financing something that's already an RV versus actual vehicles. That was a difficult thing. We couldn't make that happen, and so we were a little distraught and discouraged, and we thought van life was really not going to add up to what we wanted it to be. we were a little discouraged and distraught that we couldn't make that happen. We thought van life wasn't going to be for us. Lo and behold, we were patient. We kept researching and found this van, which we bought in Nashville. That was the switch and transition into us actually having the wherewithal and going towards our own build. It taking us 2 years to build.
So are you glad that we did our own build out?
I am glad that we did our own build out. It was a very, I don't know, like what's the strenuous, difficult life learning lesson? It was a passion project, a labor of love. Like I said, this took 2 years to build. If you are on the fence, if you should build your own or if you should buy one pre-made, if you have a general knowledge of tools, you can build this out yourself. You don't have to put all the bells and whistles in it. You can just start anywhere. You can poop in a bucket. You can
find anything on YouTube as well. YouTube is a great resource. I did pretty much everything in this van via YouTube and learning that way. A couple of things before we get into the detail of the kitchen. The van is outfitted with some beautiful cedar tongue and groove planks that we picked up from an Amish community in southern Tennessee. It smells wonderful, it feels great, and we love the look. It gives it that cabin feel. As far as the insulation goes, first of all, we put sound deadener. We put kill mat all throughout the van to eliminate city noise or keep noise inside rather than out, vice versa. We also insulated the entire van with sheep's wool, which is from Havelock Wool. You know, I'm not gonna go into the details about it. I would highly recommend sheep's wool. And last but not least, the flooring is insulated with a 1.5 inch foam board insulation. I believe it's John Mansfield. What we did, we just built a 2x2 frame of the factory van floor, put some foam board insulation in between all of those 2x2s, and put the factory floor back on top of that, and then laid down some life-proof flooring, which has held up nicely. All right, y'all, welcome to the kitchen. First things first, when you do walk into the van, we have a kill switch down here that allows you to turn the lights on and off as you walk into the van or when you're leaving. We also have an outlet down there that we like to charge our phones, batteries, things of that sort. We have an extender here that allows us to have a bit more counter space. Talking about the counter, we went with butcher block, which was one long piece of butcher block that we cut into sections. So we have the main piece here, countertop extension, and then you saw the Lagoon table mount is what we used the last piece for. So next we have the induction stovetop. Induction has worked out okay for us. It draws so much power, especially when you're using 2 burners. We boil water in the morning for coffee, and we do cook occasionally on these stovetops. And this is our drying mat that we like to put our dishes on. We have our deep sink. We went with a larger sink than most van life people use, just to give us more room to do dishes and also leave some in there when we might need to and come back to them. Here's our faucet. It's got a cool little feature when you turn the water on. You got a blue LED. The second feature there, which is nice. The second spout over here is our filtration. So the second spout over here is our filtered water. We have a 6-day. All right, last time.
Over here we have another spout, which is our filtered water. We have a 6-stage water filter underneath the sink, so that allows us to have drinking water from our 40-gallon water tank. Moving on, we have a dimmable switch for under cabinet lights here. Another outlet for charging things. We have a magnetized knife rack, and then we have our spices up here, which allow us just to pull them down, pop them off, use our spices as needed, and put them back up here. I do dislike this because these magnets, once we hit a bump, these magnets aren't strong enough, and so these just wind up coming in the sink. We've lost our pepper all over the countertop once before. So those could be a little stronger. Maybe we'll have to upgrade that. And our overhead cabinet for the kitchen. Starting over here, we have a tiny cutting board that we like to use. We have some incense, emergency meal I suppose, and a little knick-knack drawer. You can keep lighters, rubber bands, batteries, etc., etc. Some other eating utensils and random stuff like that. So that keeps it nice and organized. We have a couple cutting boards. We have some plates, bowls, saucers, and we have some supplements here as well, and our chip bag clips. And we went with the isotherm fridge for a couple of reasons. One, they can be powered with DC or AC power. If you're powered through DC, you don't have to have your inverter on, wasting power, or either powering the fridge. The DC option is very nice. This is the 110, I believe. It holds a lot of food. We are not full on food right now, but it does hold a lot of food. We are able to go off-grid for at least probably 10 days before we need to resupply. So that's nice. And starting in the first cabinet below the countertop, we have our eating utensils. We have coffee makers, coffee filters, and our coffee mugs. Underneath that one, we have a miscellaneous drawer full of soups, canned goods, whey protein, cooking oils, and all of that stuff too. Kind of our pantry catch-all right there. Also in our design, we wanted to have a little pop-out drawer right here, but the sink being as deep as it is and wide, we weren't able to do that, so we just have a front kind of a mock cover here, faceplate. Underneath the sink, we have our water filtration system, like I mentioned earlier. We have kitchen towels, we have soaps, cleaning supplies, and basically bath stuff too. So that's where we house all of that, and it's worked out pretty nicely. And we did decide to install a full shower for us. It was an important thing to have, important option. So if we're on the road and we have plenty of water also at that, and we're on the road and need a place to shower, then we can use this one, obviously. We use FRP, a pain in the butt to install, but it's worked out really well. Happy-ish with the FRP. I don't know what other route that I would take. We do have one shower light, which is a switch back here. We can cut that off and on. We found on Amazon a nice mirror that is not actual glass, it's plastic, so it's fallen off a couple times. It's not anything you have to worry about, so that's actually a nice addition as well. One cool feature that we installed was the clothesline, and that just sits in here. You tighten it down. You can hang up your towels, wet bathing suits, anything of that nature. We also have a coat rack that's actually inside the shower. If you are living in your van already, you understand that the shower basically becomes sort of a storage part two of your van. So a lot of things get stored here and then moved around later. We have, like I mentioned earlier, we have 40 gallons of fresh water. We also have a 4-gallon Bosch hot water heater. So that allows us to have hot water when needed. We also have body wash, shampoo, and conditioning containers here, so we don't have extra bottles flying over the van, and it's something that's a little bit less to take care of. We went with the Nautilus shower door, which is self-cleaning, and the thing has worked out really well. I'm pleased with it. They are expensive, but you can find other options to go without. But so far, happy with the Nautilus shower door. Okay, so next we went with the Nature's Head toilet. It does separate your solids and liquids. You have to dump those liquids about every 24 to 48 hours, which is a pain in the butt. Solids last about a month or two, depending on your usage. It's definitely pricey, but in our opinion, it's well worth it. And to get shower ready, there's a couple things we do. We take down the clothesline, we take our little mirror out, take our jackets out, of course, and then removing the toilet, we'll unplug the power cable to the fan. This will go inside the wall here. Put our waterproof hatch on, like so. Take the toilet out, and then you are shower ready.
So luckily, neither one of us had to convince the other one to do van life. It's just something we both wanted to do. We talked about it. It just seemed like the only option for us right now before we have a family and own a home and that whole thing. We do want those things, but we knew that if we wanted to travel full time, that we needed to seize this opportunity and do it now.
Yeah, I'm 37. I will admit, I'm 37. She's 27. People that are my age are doing a lot of different things, we'll put it that way. And so living outside the norm of what people think you should, you know, them throwing you in the box of, oh, well, you're 37, you should be, working this 9 to 5 for a Fortune 500 company. Look, I've been there, I've done that, and it didn't work for me. Not saying that we could wind up doing that kind of work again, but this is just something that we wanted to make a change with and live life on the road. And every day is new, every day is an adventure. Those things sound very cliche, but it is awesome. You know, we've had a great experience so far.
Yeah, and it just feels right for us right now. We know it's where we're supposed to be. We feel safe, we feel fulfilled, we feel happy with this lifestyle. We love it. I think we both wake up just grateful and thankful that we get to live on the road for now.
Absolutely.
And welcome to our bedroom. We have a super comfy bed. It's Insider Mattress was the company because it's a specific dimension. It's somewhere between a queen and a king size. We have plenty of room. It's comfy. We are able to sleep long ways, and we each have plenty of room. We also chose to go with 2 bunk windows on either side. That just allows for maximum airflow at night. Have to sleep when it's chilly. We also get some more airflow here from our second Max Air fan, just able to keep it circulating and flowing in here. And next we have my beloved bookshelf. This was my one request. Trey's was a shower, mine was a bookshelf. So I'm able to store ample books here, and I get to pick from my own library. So super grateful that he was able to piece this together with various bits of wood. Also, we have this neat little gadget here. We're able to see the outside and inside temperature, time, date, moon phase. It's has a little light as well, so neat little feature there. And speaking of reading, we each have our own reading light. At night, it makes for some dimmable light, which is nice that we don't always have to have these on so bright. So above Trey's side of the bed, we have cabinets, some of my clothes here. Again, we have these little storage bags. We've been super pleased with these. You're able to just store a bunch of clothes in there, and then, you know, they're not running all over the place. Trey has a little baggie here. We also have the Wi-Fi booster, what's it called? No, not hotspot. WeBoost. Over here we also have the Wi-Fi booster, the WeBoost. We have our water meter as well as our battery monitor. Water meter. We also have our water meter and battery meter?
Monitor.
Okay. We also have our water meter and battery monitor. All right, over here we also have our hot water heater timer, so you get to control how long you turn on the hot water heater. We have some little switches, our water drain, water pressure, the outside lights, as well as the inside shower light. We have a remote control for the Max Air fans. We have the blink plug up here. Don't ask me about it. We have a little cabinet again, or a little basket for some knickknacks, as well as our sound machine for sleeping. We like some white noise sounds, so all of those little gadgets. And then we have this little guy that Trey's mom actually put together for us. These blue lights are super bright here, so we're able to put these magnets and cover the blue lights so we can sleep. And this cedar hatch gives us access to all of this wiring and plumbing stuff behind this wall.
For when you need to work on it.
For when I need to work on it.
There we go.
Also underneath the bed, we have a little hatch which allows us access to the garage. So we're able to open that here. I have a little bit of extra clothes there. We both have a shoebox. All the other things that we have in the garage, we can access that through here, which has been nice. Also, Trey's not so intentionally thought out little nook here. It's perfect for storing our window covers, so we're able to just put them in here. They fit back there well. We also have our laundry bags that we're able to store there when we need dirty clothes, laundry bags. And here, this cabinet kind of serves dual purpose. It's a little bit of clothes stuff, but also has our toiletry bags that we keep here for quick access. So obviously there are a ton of differences between living in a building like an apartment or a home and then a van. One is obviously storage, lack of storage in a van versus a home. With that comes the realization that we do not need as much stuff as we thought we needed. We've even gotten rid of and donated some stuff since we've been on the road 3 months. There's just stuff that we realized we haven't even used. We thought we would tuck it away and use it at some point, but we really haven't. So that's the biggest change, is differentiating what you really need and then what stuff you've accumulated that you don't need. And then the second difference is communication with your, especially doing it with your partner. Communicate more than you ever thought you would need to. You're living in a 60 square foot space, so you know you can't read each other's minds no matter how intuitive you are. So it just takes being on the same page. If that's about, you know, what you're wanting, where you're going, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, all of those things just really need to be fleshed out.
Addie nailed it on the head. If you're living with someone in a van, traveling full time, communication is key, and there's really, I mean, nothing else to add on to that.
What's another big difference that you...
With the transition?
Yeah.
I mean, like little things that take just hardly any time at all. Like if you want to wash dishes, you can just at home like shove the water up on high and use as much hot water as you want. Hot showers, that whole thing.
I noticed that when I went home to my mom's house, when I was brushing my teeth, I turned the water on. I was noticing how fast I was cutting it on and off versus just letting the water drain.
Another adjustment is going, of course, to the bathroom, using the Nature's Head toilet. emptying your own liquids every other day, and it does not smell good, people. I'm gonna tell you that. Emptying your solids is even worse at times. We just made the mistake this week of putting coconut coir in the toilet, and then within a week later, mixed with some solids, it turned into a, let's just say like a microbiome of mold, and it was terrible. It smelled just like mold. So those are things you have to live with and adjust to. It doesn't bother me. I've worked in the medical field. There's not really anything I can't handle at this point, but
we're as close as they can get as partners.
Yeah, if you're gonna live with your significant other in a van, be cool with pooping and peeing in front of people, or a person for that matter.
In front of people.
Yeah, we don't poop and pee with the door open like this.
And also, I know I don't want to go on a whole spiel on the toilet, but that is usually last resort. You know, if we're at a gas station getting gas, we're going to go inside and use the bathroom versus staying in the van. So
right.
It is last resort.
One big takeaway that I've learned in the last 3 months since we've been living full-time on the road is we were going non-stop. We don't have a plan. We don't have to be anywhere at any time. So we were sleeping in a different spot every night. Cracker Barrel, woods, to Walmart, campground, or something
exhausting.
like that. So that was exhausting until we settled down at Sand Flats Campground. We were just going non-stop. So that was a little taxing, and now that we've slowed down just a little bit, we're staying in a place a little bit longer than a week or so, has been a little refreshing. But sleeping in a different location can kind of be taxing and just
disorienting.
Disorienting, yeah, it's a great word for that. Welcome to our garage. Starting with the interior door side, we went with the Owl Vans Molly panel. It's a custom fit for the sprinters. We have our tools, Eno hammock. Underneath that, we have another filter, water filter. We also have a shovel, just some random miscellaneous stuff there. And on the top half, we have the Eno rainfly and then some binoculars. Moving on to this side, we have our axe, our bow saw. This is our shore power attachment for when we need to plug up to shore power. Inside here, we just have a miscellaneous bunch of camping utensils, shovel, small shovel, flashlight, water filters, and stuff like that. This is where we house our hose that actually attaches into here, which I'll get to in a little bit. Top here, I really don't have anything mounted yet, just a camp towel. Speaking of window covers, we did go with Van Essential window covers, which was an excellent buy. We went with all covers for the van, bunk windows, the front, the sides, and they work wonders. They keep it insulated, they keep the light in and out, and we have our privacy whenever we're parked. Okay, so we did balance the weight ratio of the van in the rear. We have our electrical systems on the left side, and we have our water components on the right. So inside here is our water compartment. This is a hatch that allows us to have access to the water compartment in case anything breaks, water leaks. I have shut-off valves inside there. The hot water heater is just on the other side of here as well, the water pump and all of that. So right here we have our inlet, so when we fill our water tank up, we just attach the hose. Right here we have our outdoor shower, so if we need to wash our feet off, spray something down, we attach this hose here, just like that. It's a quick connect, you can get it and go. That's nice to have too. And speaking of filling up water, we start the first day with the RV water filter, which screws in here along with our hose behind that, and so that filters out some sediments right there. That's nice to have. On top of the water compartment, we have storage built out specifically for extra stuff like clothes, shoes. Further back, you'll see some flashlights, recovery gear, and our jumper cables and stuff like that. And moving on to the electrical side, we have multi-plus inverter, solar disconnect, which sits right here, and then our main power on and off switch is going to be this red switch here, so we can just kill that if we need to. I have another outlet back here. We charge a couple of things that sit back here. And another cool feature is we have some LED lights that sit underneath this bed here, so we can light up the whole garage. We can change colors, turn it into a party, what have you. That's a neat little feature. So some of the specs on our electrical components, we have 4 100 amp hours of lithium ion batteries, which are made by Battleborn. We have the multi-plus inverter from Victron. We have the Victron Energy Links distributor, along with their MPPT charge controller for the solar panels. And we went to DC and AC breakers. Quick shout out to Nate and Explorers Life. I followed them and watched all of their videos on how to do this myself. So yes, I did the electrical myself. If you are an aspiring van lifer, check out explorers.life for all your electrical needs. That's where I bought all my components, so shout out to them. The garage space itself, we have some of the stuff out just so I can show you. Our camping packs are in here. We have extra tools. We have weight vests. You'll see our cool kettlebells that we have from On It. We have our yoga mats. We have our outdoor rug and a couple of miscellaneous shoes, tennis rackets, and stuff like that. So All that stuff fits in here very well. We just shipped my snowboard out, so that actually freed up a lot of room back here. Just a couple other miscellaneous things, and we have plenty of storage for anything else that we could possibly need. So this is very nice. We did go with this route versus the collapsible bed that turns into the workstation, just to have more storage.
So thankfully we have the ability to not have a schedule. We have no time frame, we have no planned route to take in the States or anywhere, which we both love that. It doesn't make us like anxious or fearful or worried. We will literally sit down and talk with each other and say, okay, where do you want to go next? How long do we want to spend there? And I think we've seen people traveling before be too strict with the route. Like they've planned like weddings and concerts, and so they have to make it certain places. And I just think you can't really plan for the unknowable, so that we're grateful that we don't really know what's next. I think everywhere is on our list, and then eventually one day we do want family and a home and more stability in that sense, but we are indefinitely on the road.
Yeah, it's been great, and I have been on the other side of this camera for very many years. Started with, I bought an Airstream to remodel. That didn't go well. It was in terrible condition. Lo and behold, Addie and I met. We looked at doing van life together, and it turned out to be wonderful. If you're on the fence about doing something crazy, your friends and family are probably gonna tell you you're nuts. They're gonna look at you like, what the heck is this person thinking? I'm gonna tell you to do it. Trust your instinct, trust your gut, trust your heart. Go for it. If you have minimal tools, you can do it. I promise. You can buy a multi-bag of DeWalt tools and do it in the parking lot. Set your budget. If you need help, DM us. That's okay. We'll help you out as much as possible.
And the people that truly love you and see you will support you through it all. You know, and I think through this whole journey, we're not saying you have to travel in a van to live the most fulfilled life. We just hope that you're choosing your adventures as you want to and doing what makes you happy versus what you think you should be doing.
Thank you guys for sticking along on the tour. You can find us at Stay Human Project on YouTube. We have some of the van build series on there. We have our travels documented on there as well. And we are getting better at vlogging and editing, so bear with us there. Instagram as well, Stay Human Project. And
thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, y'all. I did a double wave. My mom, sign them out.
Stay human, baby. Bye.
Bye.